Huh? Mark works hard on these videos. They're put out there not as propaganda and not for stuff for you to wait to see tonight. These videos are made for you to share to draw attention to your product, your candidate. So get those videos out there in circulation. This video is in front of Mike Huckabee if he'll watch it, perhaps share it. He's got a gun platform, if you will. How many of you know the name Matthew Pitch? State Representative Matthew Pitch.
No, I don't.
I know Linda, Charlie, I know Kenny does. Kenny, you're shaking your head left to right.
No, I don't think I know him.
Matthew Pitch is, unless I got this wrong, Matthew Pitch is your current majority leader. He was just recently elected. He was a first-term state representative. He and I have been talking about this language, and if you remember what I talked about in here, I was reading from the Arkansas statute. Under concealed carry permit, believe it or not, I'm actually taking some heat to some pro-gun groups because I am not calling for a total repeal or let's do what the Second Amendment says. The politics is the art of compromise, and we have to deal with what we've got. Right now, what we have is language in the statutes that refers to prohibited places. Those prohibited places, 19 AI, and in the video I kept going back and forth between A1 and AI. Some of you who watched that video may have noticed me kind of flinching just a little bit because I realized you just said A1, it's actually AI. That video talks about posting of signage and making a statement that equates to a gun-free zone signage. In the works, probably 2 days ago, I contacted Matthew Pitch and I said, Matthew, I want to begin the process to change that language right now. He said, well, we're not in session. I said, that's all right. I want a drafted House bill that I can wave around during my campaign to say, I'm pushing for a Safer Arkansas. And oh, by the way, I've got the draft right here. I'm not sure what the opponent's doing, but I'm going to work already. I'm promoting a Safer Arkansas, which is common to each and every one of you. And this is how I'm doing it. With these videos and contacting the majority leader to begin the process of drafting a bill, whether I win or lose. It ought to go forward. So he's going to be meeting with the Bureau of Legislative Research. And I reminded him, I said, Matthew, I said, a citizen can talk to them. All you got to do is tell them to talk to the citizen. And he said, well, I've never heard of that. And I said, well, when Mark Perry was in this seat, I called Mark. I said, Mark, do you mind me talking to the Bureau of Legislative Research? I said, if you'll call them and say it's okay, they'll talk to me. They were already talking to me, but the draft that I wanted to do had to have a representative's approval for them to work with me to do it on his behalf. And then when Bob Johnson took the seat, I also called Bob and I said, Bob, by the way, me and Mark are doing this, so that when you get in office, I'm going to have ready for you your first House bill. All you got to do is either sponsor or find someone to sponsor. And as I said in a meeting with Jane English and Bob Johnson, I slid that across the table to Bob and I said, here's your first House bill. I said, I was asked to run against you, but I chose not to. I said, I hope we can work together on this. And I went home and I told myself, if he does this, then good, we can work together. If he chooses not to or blows me off, doesn't return my call or get back to me and say, hey, I couldn't get it done, then I'm probably going to run against him. Well, sure enough, here we are. So he chose to ignore my suggestive threat that if you don't want to help me get something that I want done, then I'm going to run against you. Little did I know that folks in Little Rock did call me, so. I'm not afraid to try to get something done, as it says in this newspaper article. I tend to do some things when others don't step up to do it, okay? I didn't have the idea of changing the message, so I sat in on a meeting with Jim and another individual. I'm still going to remain nameless, but Jim's here tonight, so I don't mind throwing his name out. But Jim was one of the 3 people that I mentioned in that video. Jim's gone to the school board trying to say, hey, we need to do something about this thing we call a gun-free zone and the signs on the building. I've now have given Jim the ammo, if he can figure out how to get the school board to understand what I just said, to relate that. This isn't just an idea, this is a doable concept of changing the language. So, the last meeting we had, I talked about this, and I was kind of hesitant, reluctant to talk about it, but when I seen on this list, just about every city councilman except for Terry Sansing, I decided, I don't think they're going to work too well with me in getting the city ordinance passed, so I'm just going to have to go to the state level, I'm going to produce a video, and maybe they will see the light, because as I said in the video, for those of you out there in other surrounding communities and the state of Arkansas and other surrounding states, including the country, why would you not want to adopt this mindset change of getting rid of language such as gun-free zones? So, go ahead, tell me I'm not looking out for a safer Arkansas. That's at the top of my agenda. Any questions on gun-free zones and videos? Encourage all of you to go find that 28-minute video, get you some popcorn, favorite drink, sit down and watch it, and then share it, and then share it again. This needs to go across the country so that when somebody says, where did this idea come from? Y'all can say, I helped spread it. You know, by the way, it started right here in Jacksonville, Arkansas.